video will be a license to kill 6 or 7. I don't know how many I've put up now, but if you care to look, you can. And all I'm going to show now is April of '84. This was sent to me with the endorsement that Larry Flint made. He was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, March the 6th of '83. And I was writing about mind control murders and what you can do with them, program people, or I was writing about Warren and Rosina Matthews, who were pathologists at Piedmont Hospital, which is where Larry McDonald, Congressman Doctor, worked. And he was one of the cases, and so was Warren and Rosina Matthews. They were shot in Cobb County, and Buddy Darden, who later ran for U.S. Congress and did get it, and I like Buddy Darden, I really did. But he won the election, and I was flown out to Flint's. I'd never met him, but I knew it was mind control programming. And the fact, I want to make this point, the fact that you can create an illness or cure it. And it comes from the Tesla files. You can cause them to have cancer, create it, or you can cure it. You can make them commit suicide or appear to when it's murder by mind control. You can cause them to have heart attacks. It looks like natural cause, okay, when it's murder. It's hard to prove. The murders that have been mass, like the Virginia Tech next door to me, April of '07, the Aurora, Colorado with James Holmes, everything is focused on mental health, that it's mentally ill. That's a lie. Mind control has nothing to do with mental illness, and you can go back to the MK Ultra back in '53 when they were brought before Congress. You can Google it. Also, that Larry, not Larry Flint, but I don't know, I'm getting confused now if I put this up. Anyway, he mentioned Larry McDonald and Murphy and Kidd. Those are like cryptic words. The Murphy goes into Audie Murphy crashed next, and this is in '71. I'm saying this again. I just Googled that. I didn't know he'd crashed. The plane had crashed right next door to me here, near Catawba at the State Mental Hospital. And the Appalachian Trail even moved a little bit and put a monument up at Brushy Mountain, Catawba, where the plane went down. So if you don't connect it, well, I'm tired of putting it up and everything. So I'll refer you to Coast last night. Gentleman on there, I've been telling about a double being used that King Edward VIII was forced out. It was with lies. He never married Wallace Simpson. A double look-alike did. He was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor, sister to Georgia O'Keefe, the artist. And they had a child, so I'll leave it at that, who's the real heir, and his own brother helped take him down. And the Illuminati, the Rockefellers, Rothschild, your banking, control your media, all of it. And I'll refer back to Coast, because this gentleman last night was telling about doubles being used in cloning, which is what the cloning I had picked up on in '80 in the condition I was in after trying to do the book and get it, well, I did the book, trying to get it published, because then you get into the Patty Hearst and all that, which one of the FBI, where I lived at Laurelwood, the manager, where so much I was almost killed, had a letter from the FBI, by the way, June the 23rd of '79. But where I was living at Laurelwood after Moonraker, it was, the manager told me, she says, well, I can't remember now if she said it was her uncle, or I think it was her uncle, was FBI agent in charge of the Patty Hearst. So you get into who tried to kill me way back then, the bunch of them, the Kennedys, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, my own uncle, George, the illegal six, and of course Elizabeth. She's using my money, my health. Now I'm going to this. I'm afraid to put it up, really. Mr. Flynn, I'll show it again, put the Larry McDonald, who flew me out there, and said that I knew who was responsible for his shooting, Murphy and Kidd. So I can't tell how all that fits in. All I'm going to do now is Oh, I did want to get this in. Way back when I knew about Audie Murphy, I couldn't tell you it was mind control. I didn't know the mechanism used, okay? I was telling about we bought a house later in Hazeland. Was it Hazeland Square near Huntsville? Well, it was Huntsville. Before we moved back to Atlanta in about 68. So it was just prior to that. We bought a house from Larry Childress. Childress, and he commits suicide. I was trying to tell everybody all these happenings weren't just coincidence, and I was getting labeled out there and all this, and still I put stuff up, and I get nasty, horrible response from it. But anyway, I want to fast forward now to a state trooper, Carl Barton, retired. His wife, Linda, dropped me off in August the 14th of '09, and I put this up because there was articles written in the paper. And when she dropped me off, his wife did. It's where I was, and they dropped me off and what had just been done to me. She said to me, and they paid it with a credit card, so I assume you could check it out. Not that they would lie about it. But it's just proof of what I'm saying, the timeline and everything. She said, this is how we move you with chemicals. I'm allergic to chemicals. My immune system attacks itself when I'm force-fed is really it, deliberately with chemicals when I get a place to live, and I get so sick, the inflammation and everything. It takes out your kidneys and heart and every part of your body after a while. Last place I had low income was actually really, if you know the truth of it, was recruited. I was recruited to go out there at Covington, where they use black mold. At least I could get the photographs, and I had before and afters. I left. It was so bad because that's spores that can get in your lungs, and I'm having to breathe them. I left and called the manager, her last name. These people need to be brought before a court of law or Congress and find out that they're going to have to pay for their crimes. Her last name's McCoy, the manager, and I called her, and I told her why I left over the weekend. She said, well, she wished I had told her before I left. Well, I had. That's the joke in all this, till you get them up before a court of law in this, and under perjury, threat of perjury, they're going to lie. So they keep their jobs. They're afraid because who's doing all this. So anyway, long story short, I go back. It's a lie. It's a joke. It's not fixed. I take photographs of it and put it up on video. I come back over here. It's breaking a lease, which makes it a little bad for me unless you hear all of this, that what's really going on. So I put all this up, and I'm going to make a long story short how it sounds. You can go back on the last videos if you care to, and this one's going off, and I'm not putting up another one. I put the videos up, and while I'm doing that, I had just called the health department, the environmental services. I got to there back and forth in Benton, and yes, I've got the numbers on the phone and all that. I got off from putting the videos up and the phone calls back and forth on the first and second, and what's being done to me here. The health department should come in and do something about it. And they're afraid of it. They follow their orders. Anyway, I turned it on, and the San Bernardino shootings, which are mind control. You can't get a copycat because this involves another aspect of it. And I'll let you go at that. They are saying now that they can be radicalized and all this. If this is ever told before a court of law, you'll see the correlation between the two I'm talking about. You can't create that one and this one at the same time because something else is involved in it. And I had a lady walk up to me I hadn't seen in a while. It's where I last saw her and everything. She came right in front of me, and I'm not going to list her name. She gave me her card, so I guess she meant for me to. But her name goes into these shootings out there where it was used in that. This man that was supposed to have helped shoot all these people is, they call him, well, anyway, he was an inspector for the health department, I believe. I'm right, and they were having a party. Christmas party. Uh, this thing fits into